Posterior to the parietal bones, we find the occipital bone. When we look at the occipital bone laterally, we can see it very little, not that much, but we can see it very well in the posterior view, as well as in the inferior and superior views of the skull. So, here we have the occipital bone in the posterior view, and I need you to imagine that we are looking at the skull inferiorly, like it's showing you in this image right there. When we look at the occipital bone from an inferior view, we see this hole right here. And when we look from a superior view, so we removed the top of the skull, and now we are seeing from a superior view inside the cranial cavity, we also see this magnificent hole. This magnificent hole is called foramen magnum. And it is very magnificent because passing through it, we have the brain stem, which has the autonomic control centers for our vital organs. So yes, it is magnificent, and it is a hole that allows the brain stem to go through. So this hole is big, and it's found in the occipital bone. How do you learn this? You learn by saying foramen magnum of the occipital bone. Another bone feature found in the occipital bone that you guys need to know are these smooth surfaces I just highlighted there. And you can see them even better in this picture. Guys, these are rounded smooth surfaces. Do you remember how a round smooth surface is called? That is called a condyle. Now, this condyle belongs to the occipital bone. So that is called occipital condyle of the occipital bone. The occipital condyle of the occipital bone sits on top of the first cervical vertebra, which is C1. And the other name for C1 is atlas, because our head will look like a globe, like an atlas, on top of the first cervical vertebra. And if you look right here in this posterior view, you can see that the occipital condyles are right there, and then they will articulate with C1. That would be found right there. Now, look at this picture again. And I would like you to notice that we have an opening right there. And this opening is superior to the occipital condyle of the occipital bone, because this is an inferior view, remember? Now, this opening is, in fact, a canal. And what goes through this canal ends up in our tongue that would be found right there. And the root used to refer to tongue is glossal. And since what goes through this canal ends up underneath our tongue, that canal is named hypoglossal canal. So you say hypoglossal canal of the occipital bone. And obviously you have the hypoglossal canal on the right side and the hypoglossal canal on the left side.